Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how I make this cute dog cake topper. The tools and equipment you'll need are some white fondant, some darker pink fondant, lighter pink fondant, a dark piece of fondant, a piece of black fondant and a 5-inch round cake board, some edible glue, a heart cutter that's fairly large, and then I've got a set of 3 heart cutters. They are spring loaded and that's the larger one. This is a really tiny one and that's a medium sized one, and I'll be using all of these. You need a rolling pin, a large paintbrush, a small paintbrush, a sharp knife and a wood effect embossing board. So first of all, roll out some pink fondant, cover your 5-inch cake drum in edible glue and stick it on. Trim the excess off, smoothen down the edges, and then get your wood effect embossing board, push it firmly into the fondant. This gives you a nice wood effect on the board. Now when you've done it, it'll move, so just move it back into place, and I'm covering the edge of the board with a pink ribbon. And I'm securing the pink ribbon with a pink pin. Take a piece of white fondant and roll it out into the shape of the body and smooth it down, then place it at the back of the cake board. Get a piece of white fondant that's smaller than the other piece for the head, and again shape it and place it onto the board. Get a piece of white fondant and cut it in half. This is to make the 2 back legs. So taper it at one end and round it at the other. And get the back edge of your knife and make 2 indentations in the front of the paws. Roll out a piece of pink fondant, cut off small pieces, and this will go inside the indentations and be glued in with edible glue. Once you've made the both legs, place some edible glue on the inside of each leg and stick it on to the body. Now take a piece of pink fondant and shape it into an oval shape and stick it onto the front of the head for the nose. Take a smaller piece of pink fondant, the little darker piece, and again stick it on to the front of the nose. Then get some white fondant, cut it in half, and this is going to be for the front paws. So roll it and shape it into an oval, rounded shape. Check it for size at the front of the head and at the side of the nose. Make a second one. Once you're happy with the shape and the size, using the back of your knife, make 2 indentations. Roll out a thin strip of pink fondant, trim it down, and stick it into the indentations on the paws using some edible glue. And then stick the paws onto the board. Roll out some pink fondant and cut out an oval shape with a thinner piece at the top, and this is going to be for the ear. Check it for size. If it's the right size, place it on the pink fondant and cut out a second ear. This makes sure they are the same size. Trim it down and smooth it down. And then here I'm getting a small piece of white fondant, shaping it into a long oval shape, and then I'm gluing this onto the inside of the ear and use the back of my knife to make a thin line down it, and stick it on to the head, and I like to just curl it over a little bit, giving it a cute effect. Get the second ear, stick that on and flick that over so it's covering the right hand eye. Take a piece of black fondant and stick it on to the front of the head just above the nose for the eye. Then take a small piece of white fondant, stick that inside the eye to give it a more realistic look. And then roll out a piece of pink fondant, thinner at one end, thicker at the other, and this is for the tail. Shape it, once you're happy with the shape, stick it on with a little bit of edible glue. And then cut out a thin strip of pink fondant, cut it straight, and then this is going to be used for the collar. Just stick it at one end all the way over the neck and use your veining tool to tuck it underneath. And then take a small piece of thin fondant and using your heart cutter set, cut out a very small heart. And then stick this onto the front of the head. And then cut out a medium sized one and a larger size one and the big one. There you have 3 hearts. Smooth the edges and then using a little bit of edible glue, stick the biggest one at the front, the medium sized one in the middle and the small one at the back. And I'm cutting out some more little hearts and placing the second one on the head, and I'm placing one on each of the back legs. And now just for a finishing touch, I'm adding a little white bone. So just get a piece of white fondant, thin it down in the middle, thicker at each end, using your veining tool to make an indentation in each end, and this makes it look like a little dog's bone. And then stick it on to the front of the dog just by its nose. And there you have a very cute dog cake topper ready to be placed on the cake. I do hope you found this video helpful and useful, and thank you for watching. If you want to see more tutorials from me, do subscribe. Bye bye.